This was my first time seeing Hamilton. I wasn't able to catch it when it came kind of close to me because it was always sold out. I tried listening to the soundtrack on Spotify, but because I didn't have any visuals to really complement it, it lost all of its impact and it was just kind of meh. When I heard that Disney Plus had picked it up and was going to release it on their platform, I was intrigued because I wanted to find out, is it actually worth all the hype? This is the story of Alexander Hamilton, one of America's chief founding fathers. It shows his relationships, his ideas, his influence, and his infamous rivalry with Aaron Burr. Lin-Manuel Miranda writes and stars in this, and he is surrounded by a lot of strong performers. We have Leslie Odom Jr. as Aaron Burr, Chris Jackson as George Washington, Anthony Ramos playing dual roles as both John Laurens and Philip Hamilton, Philippa Sue as Eliza Hamilton, Jasmine Cephas Jones as Peggy Schuyler and Maria Reynolds, Renee Elise Goldsberry as Angelica Schuyler, Daveed Diggs playing dual roles like a few other performers is Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson, and then Jonathan Groff as King George. I love musicals and I love going to the theater, but I've yet to see something actually on Broadway, even though I have seen some performances with original Broadway casts when they came close to my area. I just love the energy that comes from hearing that swell from the stage as it fills the auditorium. I mean, when done right, it can just absolutely send chills down your spine. I didn't watch the Disney Plus trailer for Hamilton before I actually sat down and just watched it. So going into it, I thought it was going to be more of a recreation, kind of like Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, but this was actually just filmed as a performance on Broadway. One of the things that I love about this, because it is filmed and it is just the Broadway performance, is that the filming allows us to see the actors' faces. Now, when I've gone to the theater, I have not paid for top-notch seats, so I'm always relegated to either the far back or the nosebleeds, and so, you have people up there. The sound is still amazing, but I don't get to see the nuances of their faces. I don't get to see just eye looks or the emotion that they give in their visual performance. I definitely get to hear it in their vocal performance. I mean, I love the way that they filmed this because it not only put us on the stage with the performers, because sometimes it's up close or we get to see the characters really close up or even just full body, but then it also pulls back so that we get to see just the grandeur of the set and the stage, so that we both feel like we're sitting in the audience and that we're sitting on the stage, maybe the action taking part right around us. The music in this is a lot of fun too, because there's a wide variety of styles that they employ. I mean, we have hip hop, we have spoken word, we have some melodic and comedic songs, and then there's even a rap battle. And ooh, that was so cool to watch. And it's a different interpretation, and I absolutely loved how they incorporated modern with old, and it works really well. They really do tell a wonderful and a full story. They pack a lot in to the 2 hour and 40-minute runtime. There's also a 1 minute intermission, which is a little odd. I guess you could just pause it, but whatever. It actually had a little countdown on there to give you more of that theater experience. But I expected it to be longer. I could have used the play to be longer. I mean, that doesn't bother me. I think when I saw Les Miserables one time, it was well over 3.5 hours. But it is a fast-moving story, and it's easy to keep up with. The music flows well, and the performers deliver some songs that left me absolutely spellbound. And that's not only from the words that they're singing or speaking or rapping, but also just in the way that they deliver it. I mean, I'm astonished at how quickly their mouths moved at certain parts, because I think you put them up against any like top rapper or spoken word artist, they'll definitely hold their own. It was crazy to watch. Rapid fire vocals coming out and making absolute sense and clear. And it's even more of an astonishing fact because you figure this is a play. It's one take. Really. I mean, it's one and done. When you're on stage, you either nail it or you flub it. In the movies, there's multiple takes and you have all of these outtakes that we get to see where things just, oh, nope, said it wrong, go again. Said it wrong, go again. Oh, I said this right, but then I screwed that up. I do that quite often. That's why I have jump cuts. The set design is simple, but it's effective. And I really like how they use the rotating floor, where you can have characters who are walking on a journey and delivering their lines, and they can just maintain their pace and stay right front and center of us as the audience. Or also you can have somebody in the center of this rotating floor that's not moving, and they become the focal point as minor action rotates around them. And it really just works to build the intensity of the story. And funny enough, it draws your attention in even closer to what you're seeing. Because of the title Hamilton, we figured that Hamilton himself is going to be the protagonist. He is the star of this show. And from history, we know that Aaron Burr can be the antagonist. But I got to tell you that at some points during this, because of the way the dialogue changes and the focus that they put on different characters, it was hard to tell who really was the protagonist and who was the antagonist. Had they switched roles at different points and then come back? That just goes to show the great writing that Miranda employed in this. As far as the characters are concerned, I mean, I liked them all. They all did a wonderful job. But there were a couple that I absolutely loved because of their small little quirks or nuances. Daveed Diggs, as both Lafayette and Jefferson, has some sly looks that he gives, and you can tell they're very sarcastic. He's very flamboyant at times, and it really works. And it also just made me laugh because I think had I been sitting in the theater, I may not have noticed all of the things that he was doing with his face and with his body. But having the camera on him, I get to experience that, and I get to enjoy it that much more. And Jonathan Groff as King George, this dude just gets to play. I mean, he is the fool in this, and he plays it up to the hilt. This is a powerful play. The words are spectacular, telling us a story of long ago, but also having absolute relevance to today. I'm really looking forward to rewatching this multiple times, not only so that I can memorize the songs and get to know the play and the music even better, but also that I can pick up nuances in the performances and just the overall story that I might have missed on my first watch. So if you do have Disney Plus, this is certainly one to check out, and probably repeatedly. There's no sex, nudity, or violence, but there is a lot of profanity. I give Hamilton 5 out of 5 couches. Have you seen Hamilton on stage? Where did you get the opportunity to see it? Was it on Broadway or when it came to your local area? What'd you think of it? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.